I always tell people start small, start with the SOPs. Put those down on paper because if you have strong SOPs on paper, then when you go ahead and you feed those in, you're going to get a much better result with your AI products. I've heard it a million times, slop in, slop out.
Welcome. I'm so excited. I'm Cynthia Tant at Sip Sell Repeat here in Pensacola, Florida. And I am so excited to be able to chat with Caroline Hobbs, correct?
Correct?
Carolyn.
Caroline.
Yeah, Caroline. Oh, so Caroline in from the Bay Area. And so today, what we're going to do, let me tell you a little bit about her from what I've been told that you are a real estate broker, a team lead, is that correct? In
Correct?
Rise Real Estate and founder of OnRecord AI. We're going to talk a little bit about that since that's the big hot topic these days.
Yeah.
Ranked the top 10 agents in Santa Clara County, closed over 100 transactions across the Bay Area. And in addition to leading her own brokerage, you've developed a technology platform. So I'm so excited to hear more about that. And whether we're sipping coffee or a glass of wine or something, we're just going to have a conversation. Oh, I also have a little swag for you too. So
Oh, I love it.
I want to make sure I get a way to get this to you. Okay.
Okay.
And so take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll start figuring out what we got going on.
Yeah. I've been in the business for just over 16 years now. I started my career hosting open houses for a realtor on the weekends and worked as her assistant. This is back in 2006, 2007.
Oh, you hit it on the before it went.
Yeah, yes, she was the number one agent in all of Keller Williams. So
Oh,
we
wow.
actually kept business coming in even through the recession, whether it was short sales or just lower price points, financial needs. I learned a lot about learning how to communicate with people. I was still in college at the time, so it was an ideal college position for me. But shortly after graduating, I got my degree in finance. I went and I got my license. I got my broker's license. And I was likely the youngest broker in the state for quite some time because I was actually a year younger than everybody in school. And one of the requirements for your broker's license was either 5 years or a degree. And
Right.
yeah, so I was able to get it, even though I hadn't had the 5 year salesperson experience. I did have my degree in finance. So I got my license and worked with KW for a while. I helped consult on eEdge, their first internal CRM platform. Working with this agent, she had the largest database of anybody in the company. And so I was really the only person that knew how to sift through that kind of information, especially from a standpoint for sales. So after leaving her team, I actually went and started my own brokerage, which I ran as an independent for 12 years before moving over to Real Broker 2 years ago. I made that move because being managing broker plus starting a technology company is just, it's too much.
Oh,
And I also have two little kids, so priorities had to be sorted out. Moving to Real was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, just culturally and in the way that I approached the business. There's so much collaboration and everything, so I've really enjoyed that. And I just joined on with Rise in the fall and am leading the Silicon Valley expansion team.
that's a lot in a short period of time, really. So I was a college professor, so I went through educating younger people like yourself. And but did you think of getting into real estate when you were in college while you were in
Never,
finance? I was going to say,
never.
how did that happen?
I'm third generation in the business.
Okay.
And so my grandfather, he built and flipped homes. And then my mother,
Okay.
she worked for the Fieldstone Company for years, which is part of the Irvine family companies. And so while I was in college, I was looking for a part-time job and just kind of
Yeah.
fell into this open house position. And
Yep.
when I graduated in 2009, obviously there were not a whole lot of financial roles
Finance. Hmm.
available in the marketplace. I continued working with this agent that I had been working with and got my
Yep.
license.
Because a lot, since most of us, we had other careers. before we
Yeah.
got into real estate, as you find most of your real estate agents have. And now I find that the younger generation, they're going right into real estate as a profession. And it's
Yeah.
not a part-time situation, it's a full-time profession. And so when you saw yourself being one of the youngest people to do this, especially a female, what were some of the things that kind of were, what's the word I want to use? Since you were with a very successful broker, did you have the issues with your age as far as selling houses and things like that? Or was it just like you were confident, I'm doing this, going for it?
It's funny because as a team leader who works with agents to try and build them up now, I often think back to this.
Okay.
It was the week before my 22nd birthday when I got licensed, and I was very insecure about my age, but nobody ever
Okay.
asked.
Okay.
It wasn't like they were like, wait, how old are you? Are you actually
Yeah.
licensed? Can you actually
Yeah.
do this? To me, I think all of it comes from knowledge and confidence and being able to articulate clearly to your clients. I don't think this business is cut out for everyone. I think you really do need to have strong communication. You need to be able to read people. You need to understand what people are going to be reticent about before they actually are. And
Hmm.
so I think that because of my hypersensitivity to knowing that I was so young and being so
Yeah.
cognizant of that, it probably forced me into a position of figuring out how to present myself and speak eloquently with clients and not let that be a barrier.
Do you feel also of having a little bit of a finance background? I know because a lot of women I know in the
Mhm.
past very intimidated by numbers and maybe not necessarily. Do you do much investing, or what was your niche when you first got started as far as
Um,
your client?
I was working with buyers, regular
Okay.
home buyers.
Just right.
Most of our clients are in tech. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think
Yeah.
that my financial background,
Mm-hmm.
I think it helps to some degree. Honestly, I think where I get more of my knowledge regarding the numbers side of things is more from having my mother be a lender and she managed a mortgage office. So I knew the lingo, I knew the programs that were available. I watched her problem solve for people to help make things happen. I think that was probably more instrumental than anything else.
That's great because I've got a 21-year-old in my office right now, and she's got these big plans. I go, okay, how am I going to direct her? Because she still has another year of college to go, and she came in with these plans. I went, where did this come from?
Yeah,
And so if you do, what would you say to that 21, 22, 23-year-old that's just coming into the field today because of all the technology and it's still a relationship business. I'm going to believe that till I'm out of it.
100%.
But the technology and things, since you're have also, we'll talk about your business
Yeah.
company. But what would you say to that young 20-year-old who's just getting out of college that may look at real estate as a profession?
Learn something new every single day and put yourself in front of the camera to educate your audience. Make sure
Wow.
that everybody around you knows that you are in real estate and that you know what you're talking about.
And be consistent with it
Yes,
every day.
every day. Learn something
Okay.
new.
Yeah. And then as I just got back from the conference I was telling you about with the Girls with Grit, and that was the big thing too, was consistency. Just be in front of the people, let people know. And it's not just listed flyers that go out once in a while. It's just not the open houses it's just every single day, letting them know who you are kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
When you're with your team, your Rise Real Estate, and your team leader with that too, correct? Right now?
Correct.
Okay. So is there a specific technology, which I know we want to address yours of what you've done, that you recommend to your agents and people that you work with?
Yeah, I will tell you one of the best tools out there, especially for new agents that are learning how to communicate with people, is a good friend of mine. His name is Justin Benson. He owns a company called Shiloh.ai. Shiloh is it's a call analysis coaching software that also has strong role play in it. And so essentially what it does is it gives you feedback on the calls that you're already having in your database, whether you're in Follow Up Boss or
Right.
Sierra or Go High Level or whatever you're in, they have integrations with those softwares. So it's going to analyze your calls and give you a grade score on it. On top of that, it's going to give you feedback on that client's personality from the call. These are the things that were most important to that client,
Wow.
and these are the things that
Yeah.
you need to bring up on your next call in order to win them over. And I
That's
feel
amazing.
like it's amazing. And for me, I have a 8-week boot camp that I put new agents through. And this is the assignment every single day is to have a few conversations on the Shiloh role play and to send me their call analytics. My goal is to see at least one 5-star call every single week, because what that's telling me is that they're learning the right things to say and they're understanding how to put those pieces together.
That today's world, it just was blowing my mind this past couple of days of everything. And just today, one of the guys who spoke over at the conference, he just created a website in front of us in 30 minutes and just, I went, oh, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. And so this brings us to your AI. What do you do? And how did that evolve? And why did you go that route?
So, as I mentioned, I worked for a realtor who had a very large database. And like coming from
Mhm.
that, I understood how important your database was for growing your business. So I knew that from the very beginning of my career. And I think that is something that sets me apart from most agents who started without
Wow,
anything or had bad habits about putting the clients in. Um,
correct.
so I never had to deal with any of that. But I did go through a number of terrible CRM platforms out there that were
Mhm.
literally just a digital roll. And I
Correct.
think the thing I became frustrated with is I taught myself to code in college just as a side project for fun, but
What'd you code in?
HTML.
What HTML? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
my part of my PhD was in computer science, but it was way back in the 80s, which was basic and nothing like today.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I could even do what I did back then in the 80s today. It's just crazy.
Using AI now, most of
I
it is
know,
vibe
that's
coding.
right.
It's
I
so
wouldn't have
easy.
to think about it
No,
and
you
miss a
literally don't.
period or
But
something like that.
that's where the communication piece comes
Yeah.
in and being able to clearly articulate your ideas.
Right.
And so when I was honestly, once Zillow bought Follow Up Boss, I was like, okay, the writing is on the
Uh,
wall. I'm out.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so a friend of mine that owns a business completely outside of real estate recommended Go High Level to me. And
Yeah, I know
so
that.
we took Go High Level and we completely rebuilt it for real estate. So from automations around appointments to calendar dates to transaction deadlines and things like that, all of the communication is automated to a very high level and all presented in a really clean format. So we work and we build custom integrations with companies like Fellow. We have a two-way integration with Follow Up Boss in case you're a Zillow Flex team and you still are getting leads through your Follow Up Boss. We have integrations with HomeBot and Real Scout. So we've been building out these custom integrations because what I've seen is the major pitfall for most agents when it comes to adopting technology is they have what I've commonly hear is shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
see a really cool feature or tool and they go
Right.
and they purchase it, but then ultimately they don't end up using it because it's just one more area that they have to go and put information in order for it to work. And so I like to think of our system as like when we're setting up our clients' accounts, we actually have them fill out what we call our account builder form. And they choose all of the integration partners they'd like to use, and we drop specified automation workflows into their account for those. So all of their integrations are immediately incorporated into their business automatically without having to input information in multiple places.
Wait, it's OnRecord.ai, right? Is that
Correct.
the name of it? Okay,
Yeah.
OnRecord.ai. And I agree because people ask me, what CRM would you recommend? And I say, which one are you going to use?
Yeah.
Because it'll go, or which website should because you go to a conference, like a lot of stuff was there, and you're going,
Yeah.
no, nope, not doing it. Just because I've been through that,
Yeah.
many years of that, of trying to find
Product
the right.
overload. Yeah.
Correct. And then trying to enroll or not enroll, get your agents to come on board. And I keep telling them, I said, your database. I have a client, a young agent right now. It's crazy. Is she's going to school full time, 15 hours full time. She has a great database. She won't use it. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you some dead leads. And you go and she's got four. She already sold three and I got another one under contract of dead leads. I go, what are you doing? And she goes, I don't want to use my own people. I go, but why?
Yeah.
When you've done this switch, these four people, it was one couple that bought three houses. So I should say three out of the four that she did. But do you see what you're doing? I said, I need to get you to start like, because she keeps asking me for more leads. I said, but I get
You
more
have
money.
them. Yeah.
I know. That's what I said. I said, I get more money from you if I'm
Yeah.
giving. And she goes, that's okay. Anyways, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm back in town now and I'm going to get her because she's finishing classes in a week and now she can really actually do her thing. But it was interesting, and I'll get off subject just a little bit, but I guess it was about 16 years ago. I hired her
Mhm.
as a marketing person in my office and she did some marketing. And then I sent her to a conference and she came back. She goes, I think I'm going to start my own company. I went, that wasn't for me to send you to learn how to do it, but she did, and it started her own degree. So she's back now as a realtor. But it, I can't believe that she won't get into her own database right now, which
Yeah.
she has really good. Uh,
One of the
I'm going
things
to
I
ask you, what
love.
could I say? What could I say to her to say, okay, and she's in her late 30s,
All
you
she's
know,
got to
what
do
would
is
you
use
say?
a smart number.
Okay, yeah,
Because if you use a smart number that's connected to your database, every single time somebody calls you or messages you, they're going to automatically be added into your database. So
right.
that you can start either, depending on what you're doing, whether it's email or text messages or calls, we have different work based on how people come in and through what sources. And yeah, that would be my number one.
How can ladies listening on this group right here, how can we get hold of you?
Yeah,
And how can we get involved with your business?
absolutely. So easiest way to get a hold of me is to find me on Instagram. It's Caroline
Okay.
Hobbs RE. Um, I'm in my messages and everything all the time. I also have links to our software and YouTube pages and everything in my link tree that's attached to my Instagram. So that's
Okay.
definitely the easiest way to find me and get in touch with some of our resources. We are in the process of starting a community group, just
Oh,
showing
great.
people exactly step by step how to build out these different automations. So,
Okay.
for example, last night I built a lead enrichment automation so that every single time somebody comes into our database, they are sent through this AI platform. And from there, it actually scours the internet and pulls their social media profiles. It also pulls their property address and length of residency, as well as the approximate home value. And then it shoots it back into the CRM. So that way, as I'm communicating with them in the future, I already have all this great information and understanding of who they are and what they're doing and can stay in front of them in multiple ways.
That's amazing. And so I know the community is a big thing, is getting the people involved in the community and understanding it. Because again, I was on a call earlier today from someone that had been at the conference yesterday or this past week, a young man, and he was dynamic. He really was. And then there was a lot of agents on the call that are just overwhelmed right now
Yeah.
just because. And again, most of us are older and we're still in the profession. And just what would be, what's the question I want to ask?
I
Your
think I
advice
know.
to,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say what you really need to take a look at is you need to be honest with yourself first and foremost. Where are
Mhm.
the holes in your existing business?
Yeah.
Is it that you're not using your CRM? Are you not making calls? Are you not sending out emails to your past clients? Like, where are the current holes? Because automation and AI is completely useless if you don't have a strong set direction to move forward on. And so I feel like a lot of people go to conferences and they're like, they see 30 people speak over a small amount of time and they're like, I want to copy what they're doing and they're doing and they're doing and they're doing. And the fact of the matter is, like, you are not them. They're showing you
Oh,
the possibilities. You have to figure out what works for you and prioritize that. A lot of times, what I do is I'll talk to Claude or another
right.
AI and I'll literally list out all of the things that I want to work on. and get done. And ask it. It knows I'm a real estate professional. It knows the programs and everything that I'm working in. And so I ask it straight up, please help me create a priority list with the ease of implementation associated with it and give me a detailed step-by-step guide on how I can get started with this. And then I usually take that guide and run it through a different LLM, ask it to identify any holes in this guide and in this setup instructions. And they come back with some gaps being filled. And then what I do from there is I either determine whether this is something I should be building myself or if it's something I should have my assistants working on so that they can better learn how to implement some of these things as well.
You mentioned that you have younger children. So how has this implementation of AI in your family affected or helped you have more time with your children? You seem to be very active, but how's
Yeah,
it helped?
I think AI is only as strong as the prompts and tools and
Correct.
capabilities you give it to. So what it does for me is it cuts down significantly on my research, which allows
Yeah.
me to be more productive and get more actual tangible results at a much faster rate. And I don't know about you, but for me, my goal for each day is usually to just feel forward momentum of
I
some
like that.
sort. I'm not
Hmm.
I'm not always the best agent. I'm not always the best mom. I'm not always the best wife. But if I can kick butt at one thing each day, that's enough for me.
That's fantastic. And I think that in today's world, everybody wants something right now. And I said, "Well, it took me a long time to get where I am and what I've done. Now you can speed it up, but you've still got to do the steps. It's a little bit of a faster speed. I know my grandmother was at her 100th birthday party and she was still healthy and memory and everything. And I said to her, I said, Nana, I said, what's the difference between now and when you were a child? And she goes, everything is way too fast. And she was using a cell phone.
Yeah,
In fact, my uncle had to fire her from the job when she was 97 because it was his company
yeah.
and she was answering the phone. And I called, it was a pretty big company. I said, what are you answering the phone for? But that's what she said. She goes, everything is going so fast. And just think of that from a 100-year-old saying that, you know,
100%. If I'm talking to older agents who are wanting to get more involved in automation and everything as well, even younger agents, honestly, AI is great for big picture and it's great for honing things in. But you must have a strong, solid foundation. So I always tell people start small, start with the SOPs, put those down on paper. Because if you have strong SOPs on paper, then when you go ahead and you feed those in, you're going to get a much better result with your AI products. I've heard it a million times, slop in, slop out.
yep.
So take the time and get detail oriented. Like when I started building out automations, I literally sat down with every piece, every calendar booking, every single thing. And I said, all right, if I'm going to execute this at the highest and best level, what does that look like? From a follow-up standpoint, from a reminder standpoint, from a questionnaire standpoint of getting information from people, what is my end goal and what is the best case scenario for that? And that's how we build.
And I'm still coming from a professor background, as I guess I myself, a recovering academic for many years ago. It was always, I would tease, and this was way back when I left a while back, I would tease the students, you guys, it's like you have to think. Even though things are happening, it's like writing that program, that first program. If you knew, you had to know what you wanted your outcome to be, especially I
Yeah.
was in biomechanics and I was in the engineering part of it. And so it was just like I needed to know that basketball is going to go through that hoop, and I have to with basic and a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk and Apple. Oh my God, what a nightmare! So what
Yeah.
took me 2.5 years to do a dissertation, you can do it on your phone in 5 minutes right now, which is nuts. But you still have to have some type of, like you said, the SOPs and everything. What is that outcome that you're looking for?
Exactly.
And because like you said, garbage in, garbage out, that's going to be the same thing with our database.
100%.
If we're putting this in and then all of a sudden that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
I'm worried though that a lot of people don't know what is supposed to come out.
Well, to your point, you were talking about the younger agent who said that she didn't want to put her people in there. What
Right.
I would challenge her to do is sit down and say, okay, if you were to put your people in there, how would you want them to be communicated with? What kind of information would bring them value where they wouldn't feel like you were harassing them?
That's great. That's a great idea. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I know she will do it too because she listens to me on certain things. It's just the database that she's a little shy about. I'm not quite sure why yet. But so, is there anything else you want to share with us? You've given us so much information, and I'm going to, so I can go on. Can I, if I go on your Instagram,
Yeah.
or how can I get into the onboard.ai? Is that, I go
Oh, on
directly to
record?
that?
Yeah,
On
you can
record,
go
not
to our
on site,
website.
on
Yeah,
record.
you can go to our
Okay,
website, OnRecord.ai, and
on
you can get
record.
all the
Okay,
information in there. And there's also links to sign up.
okay,
I am trying to do weekly demos of the product.
okay,
So, again, if you find me on social media and shoot me a
okay.
message and say hi, I can absolutely add you into our next demo session.
Okay.
But yeah,
This is what I love about the podcast. It's like I meet such, and for women especially, to promote women, that's what I'm really wanting to happen. The guys, they could do, no, I want the women out there because we know we can do it. And me
absolutely.
growing up, and I know is 80% of the women were the realtors and 20% were the business owners. I said, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
So fighting the system and letting the women be the business owners, and the women always have been the good teachers and the good communicators, I should say. Nothing against the guys, because some are really good too, but just allowing to promote into a profession that I really love. And I feel getting that first time home buyer house is just amazing.
Always.
And I'm in a very different market than you are. Our
Mhm.
average price house is $300,000, and that's not including the ones on the beach.
Yeah,
And we're a vacation destination. So it's a very different demographic and economic situation, I guess you would say.
absolutely. Yeah,
But I've enjoyed this. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise
absolutely.
already.
Thank
Everything
you for
you're in.
having me.
Absolutely. But I just
Mhm.
want to say thank you for joining us at Sip Sell Repeat in real estate. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
If you're inspired by these powerful women in real estate, you'll want to catch the next conversation. Click the video on screen to keep sipping, selling, and leveling up your game.